yesterday we found out that the Indiana Fever decided to waive Bree Hall from the roster. There was several cuts that happened yesterday, but one in particular I want to talk about is Brie Hall. They did decide to cut both Brie Hall and Julian Allen. Now, Brie Hall was someone who was drafted number 20 in this year's WNBA draft. She is someone who spent her entire career at South Carolina, where she was kind of great at South Carolina as a defensive-minded player, right? What you did with a player like a Brie Hall is you put her on the best guard on the other team, right? That's the role she plays. She could occasionally knock down some shots, but for the most part, Brie Hall was a defensive player, right? This past season for South Carolina, she averaged 5.8 points a game, 2.3 rebounds a game, and shots around 40% from the field. She was not someone who you could have be like a knockdown three-point shooter, even though she can knock down three-point shots every now and then. She was not somebody who was just gonna like put it on the rim, like put it on the floor and get to the rim, though she could do that occasionally. This is one of the casualties that we have in the WNBA when it comes to really good defensive players who, from a team's perspective, does not have a gigantic offensive bag to get them a roster spot. Now, what I will say is that it is not over. Just like we saw the other day when Shyanne Sellers was waived and we were like, what in the world is happening? I don't get this at all. This makes no sense. And then eventually we saw yesterday that Shyanne Sellers is back. She got a team off of waivers. She's good. Now, do I think that Brie Hall will get picked up off of waivers like a Cheyenne Sellers? No, I don't. I do think they're different players with different skill sets. Cheyenne Sellers is a combo guard who can play the point, can play the shooting guard position. Also, she does have a deeper offensive bag. She does, right? Defensively, no. Cheyenne Sellers is not as good defensively as Brie Hall, in my opinion. Though Cheyenne Sellers is a good defensive player as well. But Brie Hall, unfortunately, is a casualty of someone who just does not have enough of an offensive bag that she has shown in college consistently. And ultimately, it is what it is. She was brought on by the Indiana Fever. It was going to be an uphill battle anyway, because tomorrow we're going to talk about the Indiana Fever roster. But it was an uphill battle to even make this team. And not having someone who can just go crazy on the offensive end, I think that was ultimately the killer for Brie Hall. Now, Brie Hall is a talented player. She is. She's a talented player. She is someone who is really good. Does she get picked up off of waivers? No, I don't think so. But does she possibly come in mid-season during EuroBasket play? Like as players are going away for EuroBasket? Possibly, yeah. I could see her signing a 7-day, 10-day or whatever contract with a team during the year. I don't think she gets picked up and makes another roster at the start of the season. I don't think so. But I do see her possibly getting picked up as we head middle of the season of sorts, especially around that EuroBasket time. I could totally see her getting picked up for a team and making some stuff happen. So yeah, sure, it's a bummer. But it is what it is. This is a business. This is the WNBA. Only 12 players can make each team at a maximum. And, it is what it is. So best of luck to Brie Hall. I do ultimately think she will play in the WNBA this year. I do, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, from that news to the news that I kind of briefly talked about, but I'm gonna talk about it more. And it is Shyanne Sellers. Okay, Cheyenne Sellers. As we talked about before, she was waived by the Golden State Valkyries. I was like, what? Nah, Sway, make this make sense. I didn't understand it. I did not understand it. But turns out that the Atlanta Dream was like, ooh, We just hit the jackpot. We hit the jackpot. Cheyenne Sellers is available on waivers. Okay, let's get her. Let's get her. Let's get her. And to be honest with you guys, I was thinking like maybe Cheyenne Sellers would be on the Washington Mystics or the Connecticut Sun or something like that. But I like Atlanta. I did not expect Atlanta to pick up a player like a Cheyenne Sellers. I did not expect that at all. However, I like it a lot. I think that's a great move for the Washington Mystics. For the Atlanta Dream. So yeah, I think that should be really, really cool. All right. Some other transactions that happened. Morgan Jones was waived by the Washington Mystics. JoJo Lacey was also waived by the Washington Mystics. Christine Williams was waived by the Minnesota Lynx. Kara Leslie was waived by the Minnesota Lynx as well. Deanna Gadsden was waived by the Atlanta Dream. All right. Those are some of the transaction news that has happened over the last 24-ish hours. And dog, I'm interested to see Cheyenne Sellers and what she could do on this Atlanta Dream team. I do think she makes this roster. As I said before, I do think she ends up on a roster at the start of the year because she's that good. And we'll ultimately see how her year ends up going from here. Because again, guys, denied or delayed is not denied. Sometimes, another place is a better fit for you. So we'll see ultimately what happens. Okay. Brick says would love to have two Terps on the Dream. Yeah. Cheyenne Sellers and Brianna Jones. Yep. Two former Maryland Terrapins. Sorry, I don't have a graphic for the wave players. I don't. Sorry. RC says the waves are always going to be. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing we can do about it until more teams and roster spots hit. I mean, yeah. That's true. That's true. DB says so they picked up Ryan Jr. You think Cheyenne Sellers is Ryan Jr.? I mean, I don't see it. But I guarantee this is about to be Ryan Howard's best year. I'm gonna tell you that, and we're gonna like this is gonna be their best year because Ryan Howard is someone who is in her last year of her rookie deal. And this year is a make it or break it year for her in terms of like whether or not she wants to end up returning back to the Atlanta Dream. And the Atlanta Dream, in my opinion, they were in a position where like they had to do anything they could to get better to ensure that she actually returns to this team next year. And she actually wants to sign back with this team. Of course, they can court her, but you get what I'm saying. And I think that they're doing their best to make the best of a roster. And I like it. I like it a lot. Again, who do you bring in? You bring in Brittany Griner. You bring in Brianna Jones, right? You make some stuff happen, right? So this is a Atlanta Dream team. They got Jordan Canada, Alicia Gray, Ryan Howard, Brianna Jones, Brittany Griner, Nas Hillman, Nia Coffey, Shatori Walker Kimbrough, right? You have some battle, like a battle for like whoever else makes this team. But I think ultimately at the top of that list now is Cheyenne Sellers, who will be on this team. The question mark is, does Tina Pow end up making the cut? I do think she makes the cut. But what about Haley Jones? What about Maya Caldwell? Like there's a lot of question marks, I think, when it comes to this Atlanta Dream team and ultimately who else makes that roster. But I do think it's going to be fun. I do think it's going to be fun to watch the Atlanta Dream this upcoming year. If y'all missed it a week or so back, I did a live stream where I talked all about the Atlanta Dream, and I did a preview of their training camp, and I went through all the players and yada yada. So check that out if you would like. Okay.